Please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.
Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Jen Potter, and I am the host of Networking Now. Our show is about integrating different industries and different people all over the country to talk about what they do in business, how they're growing, and how they integrate networking into everything that they're doing. Today, I'm joined by Catherine Brown. She is the author of In Search of Bliss, as well as a coach. She has a lot of things to talk about today, talking about her new book and what she's doing with work. And I'm going to have her jump in and introduce herself, and then we'll get started.
Hi, Jen. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Hi, everybody. My name is Catherine Brown. I'm a registered nurse of 33 years. I am recently a new author for In Search of Bliss. This is a book that I wrote recently, and it explains how to get more out of life when the pursuit of happiness seems to get you nowhere. I'm also a certified health and wellness coach. I've been doing that since June, but I've been coaching a little bit before that, doing weight loss and nutrition, probably for about over a year now. Actually, I think more like 2 years. So I am integrating, not only now am I focusing on keeping people well, I'm really focusing on the wellness portion of the business as opposed to focusing on illness. So I help women. I work with women, and I help them see their worth. I help them get out of their heads and into living their life and really understanding what their worth is. So for women that, do it all, have a full-time job and take care of the family and take care of the bills and take the kids here, there, and everywhere, I help them feel like they are worth it. For those, many women feel like they're not good enough, and they are not seen, they're invisible. They wonder what's next in life. So in my book, I really break it down to what I have been living for the past 33 years as a registered nurse, and go through the steps that I've taken to find my bliss. After 33 years in nursing, I decided to walk away and again focus on wellness as opposed to illness. And in my book, I talk about really finding my happiness, and not just happiness, but bliss. That is really getting to the root of why we do the things that we do. I was always an overachiever. And I discovered, within the last year that, is this all there is in life? And I just really wanted to break free from that and really wanted to reach out and do the things that I love and really coach women. I've been, coaching as a nurse for 33 years, but this is bringing that to the next level and really getting to the heart of what makes people who they are, what makes them tick, and really just trying to bring out the best in people so that they can live their lives to their fullest and be happy, or not just happy, but blissful. Really get to that next level of nothing can break me. I am who I am. Here's what I offer. And this is the message that I want to get out there to women.
And I love that. And I love listening to everything that you talked about. I recently got one of your books. I haven't had a chance to start reading it just yet. But there was, as soon as you said, living your best life and living, this blissful life, anyone who knows me, that's my social media handle, right? Jen, live your best life. So for me, every day, it's that purpose of living your best life. And you said trigger things for me, being happy. And those things are super important to me, and part of my journey as well, right? That we're in the same, similar spheres with different things that we do. And I love when I meet other women who have that same purpose, right? Like, you're so purpose driven. You've have years of experience behind you as a nurse, and now taking what you know and also being able to build and grow on it. Fun fact, my degree is actually in health and exercise science, so that is a passion of mine. So when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, I love this," because it's something I've always loved, and it's always been a part of the integration of everything that I do. And so, I know you said that there's something intriguing to me. It's not just about being happy; it's about being blissful. And it's funny because I recently just had a conversation with someone, and they said, and they just hit their halfway point in their life. They just turned 50, and
Mm-hmm.
said, I don't think it's about living a happy life. I think it's about being content. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. No, I was like, I don't know if content is the right word for me. Like, and maybe some people will disagree and say, yes, content, right? Because then I kind of looped back and I was like, oh, but bliss. Like, content just seemed like you're willing to settle. Happy is
Mm-hmm.
something I always want to be. But when you say the word bliss, this big smile comes over your
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
And I would love for you to tell our audience, obviously don't spoil the book because I'm excited about reading it, but, give me a little tidbit of what living a blissful life means. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah. So living a blissful life is, you know, for me, and I struggled with this myself. So, I'm 55 years old, and again, I've been a nurse for 33 years, and I was always an overachiever. I would go after that next huge goal, and I would always achieve it. And I would go after the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And then I was like, okay, what's next? And then I came to a point and said, when is it going to be enough? So I've really finally figured out that I'm doing all these things, but I'm never really feeling fulfilled and happy. So for me, getting to bliss is really having that inner awareness of, what's going on, stepping back, um, just really understanding what is happening and where I am in life and where I want to go. And it's, you can be happy, things make you happy, the weather makes you happy, people make you happy, but bliss is something different. It is that inner core feeling of nothing can break me no matter what. It is that feeling that at the end of the day that I am who I am. This is what I bring to the table. This is what I offer. I am worth it. Nothing can break you. Nothing, you're going to have bad days. Of course, we all have bad days, but this is really that inner core feeling of I know who I am, and I don't care, of course I care what people think, but inside I know that I do the right thing. I'm a great person. I treat people the way I would like to be treated. It's all of that, living your best life. And at the end of the day, if something were to happen to me tomorrow, am I good with a life that I've lived? And I can say honestly, yes. I've given my all to everything that I've done in my life and everything that I continue to do. I never do anything halfway. Bliss to me is just that inner, just that, I don't know, that inner brightness that, like, again, I go back to that core, that feeling like nothing can break me no matter what's going on. And I've actually, as I'm writing the book, and I won't give it away, but I've had to deal with some things as I'm writing my book that really put me to the test, my own test again. And I really had to understand again where I've come from and where I'm going and how I'm going to get there. So it's more than just, I've had a great day. I've had a great week. My pets make me happy. People make me happy. The weather's great. It's all of that and more. It's, again, that feeling like I know who I finally am and I know what I bring, and I know that I can help other women who feel stuck and feel like, is this all there is in life? What's next? What am I doing? You hear a lot of that. What am I doing? What's going on? What are my next steps in life? Is this all there is? You hear that a lot. So
Right.
I want to really focus on, bringing women to the next level of, that survival and that inner peace that whatever they do, they are so solid that nothing can break them.
And I definitely do love that. And I want to kind of elaborate a little bit more and go a little bit deeper, because then my next question is, you got to a point in your life, and I know for me, I discovered this in my late 30s, of finding this inner peace, right? Like it took me a long time to get there, and I feel like I've gotten there a little bit sooner than most people in our, in our age group between me and you. And I turned 41 actually in a few days. And for me, I'm at a point in my life where I am super happy. I wake up in the morning and nothing's going to break me. Nothing's going to stop me. I own everything that I've come to. But for me, it came with, something traumatic that happened, and,
Mhm.
I almost died. And so for me, I think I got to that point because of that. Was there some type of life trigger? Was it just you woke up one morning and it was an aha moment? But what was it that made you realize that you're like, hey, this is where I need to be?
Yeah. And again, I don't want to give a whole lot away because it's in my book, but the first sentence in my book talks about how my father walked out on us when I was 2 years old. He never came back. And from that point forward, I based my whole life and my worth on what I could achieve. I felt like I lost that in my personal life. I felt like I wasn't worth it. I wasn't enough. I wasn't loved. All these things that I felt. And I felt like the only way that I can prove to myself that I was enough was by overachieving. Every goal that I set for myself, I achieved the goal. Then I set out for next goal. So yes, that was definitely a traumatic point in my life. And again, I was two. So you could say, well, you were two. You really can't understand what's happening at 2 years old. But how that plays out for the rest of your life and how those feelings really make you who you are has been the basis for why I'm doing coaching, why I wrote the book, because I know that there are many women out there that feel exactly the same way that I do. And this book has resonated with so many people, and so many people have said to me, thank you for making this real, because I thought I was crazy for all these years. You're not crazy. You're just feeling the feelings. And so, yeah, that was my traumatic event that really triggered the next 55 years of my life until I finally walked away from nursing in the traditional sense, because it wasn't fulfilling me the way I wanted it to.
Mm-hmm. And no, I totally get that. And I think, we go through things in our lives for a reason. I'm a firm believer in that.
I do
And I
too.
think that's something, when you look back, you probably say, well, I wouldn't have been able to write this book if it wasn't for all of these things that have happened. And I think that that's a really beautiful thing. And I want to dive a little bit more into that. But first, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more. So I am Jen Potter. I am joined by Catherine Brown. And when we come back, we're going to dive a little bit more into your book and what you're doing. So thank you. Stay tuned.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. Not only can a CGM immediately reduce pain, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare or private insurance, you can see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. We'll also provide free shipping of your new CGM, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline to see if you qualify for a CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.
Are you a business owner feeling overwhelmed or burnt out with no energy left for what's most important to you? In order to effectively run your business and maximize your profits, you have got to be the best possible you that you can be. Now is the time to reclaim your energy, master your schedule, and maximize your profits so you can effectively run your business rather than it running you. It's time to become the CEO of your business and life. I'm Jen Godet, a business strategist and life coach. I work with overwhelmed business owners who feel stuck in a rut and depleted. I teach you how to stop doing the things that aren't making you money and start prioritizing the things that bring you energy, joy, and lasting impact. I'm a human performance specialist and an international best-selling author. I've helped countless people all over the world to learn the art of saying no, overcome their fear, and maximize their performance. Let's get you to live your best possible reality. Start today and become the CEO of your business and your life.
Taking a trip in the next 12 months? Airlines are under tremendous pressure and they're practically giving away their unsold seats. Like every crisis, this one will end too. But right now is the best time to take advantage of giveaway ticket prices on their unsold seats. We're not allowed to publish these low fares online. The only way to get these rock bottom giveaway prices is to call. So phone low-cost airlines now for airline ticket prices you may never see again.
Thank you so much for coming back. My name is Jen Potter, and I am the host of Networking Now, and I am joined today with Catherine Brown. And in our last segment, we talked a little bit about how you got to where you are and what you do, with writing of your new book. And I think I saw, now that I'm thinking about it, you're writing a second book. Isn't that true?
I am.
You are. Oh, all right. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But before the break, we did talk about, coming to this aha moment as to why you wanted to start living your most blissful life. And, I referenced it by saying, usually it's something traumatic or something that has happened that we're ready to heal from. And, there's different ages and different times that this kind of happens for everybody. But it seems as though your mission is very similar to, my thought process and, why I also help, women and business and growth. And it's, you want to help people who are in their heads, people who think like, maybe it's just me. We live in this generation, and, I definitely think it's a generational thing where we don't like to talk about the things that are bothering us, right? Like telling somebody our trauma is, hard for us to talk about. And by being vulnerable, it's hard for us. Like, what are they going to think of me, right? And then you get to a point in your life where you're like, I really don't care what anybody thinks about me. And that is a really weird place to be. because somebody said something about me a few weeks ago and I thought nothing of it because I just didn't care, and someone was like, oh my goodness, like I felt so bad for you. I'm like, you felt bad for me? I didn't even feel bad for myself. Like, let it go. But it's this weird moment that you get to and you're like, oh, that's not going to bother me. I'm still going to sleep sound because I live my best life. And like you said, you went through something traumatic when you were younger. You didn't really process it probably till you got a little bit older, and you were an overachiever. And I can firmly relate. My trauma is very different, but there are parallels. And for me, I was an overachiever with everything. I'm going to run this marathon. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get straight A's. I'm going to go back to school. Like, I even just recently ran the Boston Marathon last year because I was told I couldn't. So, for me, it took me a long time, and now I just compete with myself, but it took me a long time to get out of that place. And like you said, living this blissful life. And one of the things that you talked about, and I find this really interesting, and I think because you are an expert because you have been a nurse, you are a nurse for 33 years. Like, you are literally an expert in your field. You jumped into something that you know a lot about, and you're able to integrate wellness with illness. But you said wellness instead of illness. And if you could dive into that, I would love to hear your thought process, what it looks like to be well, to kind of get away from that illness, and why you're doing that and why your focus is on that, because I think it's really important.
Hey, thanks. So yes, my focus is definitely now on wellness as opposed to illness because I feel that many of our illnesses and chronic illnesses, such as diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, um, to name just a few, cancers, they're all lifestyles that can be controlled with our actions. What we eat, what we drink, our lifestyle. Do we exercise? Do we not? Um, and also, wellness has to do with congruency with the mind, the body, and the spirit. You've heard of people that, have these horrible conditions or diseases that if they have a positive mindset, they can certainly, will themselves to be better. Again, it's that integration of mind, body, and spirit to make them whole. And it's not just about focusing on the illness. The illness is really just a symptom, if you will, of, again, the lifestyle that somebody chooses. I myself lost 55 pounds a year ago. And again, most of it was mindset. It had nothing to do, yes, it had to do with what I was eating, but it had to do with, um, you know, really understanding, why am I eating? Um, you know, you eat when you're happy, you eat when you're sad, you eat when you're stressed, you celebrate, you eat, all these things. So for me as a nurse, for 33 years, I've seen it all. I've seen people, um, be born. I've seen people die. I've seen everything in between. And I've seen people's choices really affect how their life and the results of, their diseases and whether or not they live, they die, whether or not they develop diabetes and then have to have amputations, and again they continue to smoke and make choices and eat things that they shouldn't. So it's all that, really, again, that congruency with mind, body, and spirit. So I focus now on, when I have clients, and I do work with men, but I mostly work with women, just because obviously I can relate with the women just in the types of things that I focus on. I do accountability coaching. I do helping them achieve personal and professional goals. Surviving grief and loss. That's something that I've also, dealt with a lot in my life. Healthy relationships, weight loss and nutrition. Anything that really anybody has that is holding them back in life. And if you look at anybody's problem, you can always attribute it to something that, again, that traumatic event that has happened to them, that has, made them feel like, they're not good enough, or, they're going to overeat because they're stressed, and then they become obese, and then they have diabetes. So everything is all connected. It really is. And I think if we can focus on really understanding what makes that person choose the things that they choose. Again, you can choose wellness, you can exercise, and it's not just about exercising, it's just healthy movement, it's eating, making better choices. You can still have that piece of cake, but you can't have cake every meal, or 5 times a week. Or, I mean, don't we wish we could sometimes, but you know what I'm saying. It's really making those conscious efforts to make the right choices. And um, again, it's all connected. It all comes back to the choices that we make, why we're doing the things that we're doing. So when I coach women, I get back to that fundamental of, okay, whatever you're working on, whatever your issue is, um, it's an issue because of what. You go back and you look back at their life and things that have happened to them and their traumatic events, and you'll understand why people become unhealthy and stress and mental health issues. I mean, they're all interrelated. So if you can focus on keeping people well, then they're automatically going to start to become well and get past that illness phase, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that absolutely does make sense. And I love to hear all the why and behind it and how they're all kind of integrated. I really do, because for me it makes sense, but sometimes, from the outside looking in, not everybody actually thinks that way. So I
Yeah.
definitely appreciate that, that outlook. And so you said you went on your own personal journey, right? Over the past year, you lost some weight, and, you made a focus and you made a change. And, I'm sure that plays a lot into, how you feel and why you're doing what you're doing too. And it's also a testimony. I think it's a testimony to your clients, because you're like, I'm holding myself accountable. I did
Mhm.
this. And by me doing this and living that life, enjoying the cake, just not every meal, spoiler alert, it's my birthday week, I'm going to eat cake every day.
Exactly.
But there is a consequence to every action. So it's
Mhm.
about that healthy balance, and for me that's really important. And I love that you did that, because now it's more fulfilling, right? Like you said, you have all of these amazing things. And so, we do have a few more minutes at that, and I want to, kind of jump into it now while I'm thinking about it. So you have this first book, and it talks about being blissful and, living this life where it's meaningful and purposeful, and when we wake up in the morning, there are no regrets. That's important to me. So you have another book coming out, and if you're not ready to talk about the title, but are you ready to talk about, what it's about, the direction that you're kind of going in?
Yeah, it's it's a little different. It's going to be a romance novel.
Oh, so
Yeah, I'm somebody that loves deeply, and I really, my husband tells me I live in a fantasy world, and I do. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like people deserve to be loved in their entirety. And again, mind, body, soul. Here's that other connection, that other, it, it's that's what it's going to be about. It's going to be, finding that pure love, finding that bliss again, but in a different sense. I've always wanted to write, a novel and a romance novel, and I love romance movies and all of that. So very different, but you might see a lot of the same themes in it, because that's who I am, and that's what I tend to focus on, is that compassion, that empathy, that deep love, that friendship, all of that is just really important to me.
I really love that. And so is it going to be, because now I'm intrigued, is it going to be, fiction, nonfiction? Is it going to be, how you found that love? Like what type of,
Um,
what can
I'm
we
not
expect?
yeah, I'm not 100% sure yet. What I'm thinking of is probably, there'll probably be characters, and probably, in a fantasy life of, how perfect it could be. Because nobody's relationship is perfect, that. But, just I want it to be that struggle, that tension, and then at the end, that you find that romance. So I'm not exactly sure how that's going to play out yet, but That's the goal.
Well, we have something to look forward to. So
Yeah.
with that, we're going to jump to our next break. My name is Jen Potter. I'm the host of Networking Now. And when we come back, we're going to talk with Catherine Brown a little bit more about this next book and the other things she's working on. We'll be right back.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. Not only can a CGM immediately reduce pain, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare or private insurance, you can see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. We'll also provide free shipping of your new CGM, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline to see if you qualify for a CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.
Welcome back. I am Jen Potter, host of Networking Now, and I am joined again by Catherine Brown. She is here to talk about her recent book that she recently just published, her experience in health and wellness as a life coach and spending 33 years in the nursing field. And right before we left for break, we actually talked a little bit about your second book, which I'm super excited about. And it's about romance. And so one of the things that I wanted you to tell me a little bit more about is it is about romance, but what was it about this book that just, that you felt so intrigued to tell this part of the story and, do something a little bit different, because it is very different from your first book, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what was it that just kind of it called to you, because it's something that just came very natural?
Yeah. So I would say this book is going to be a romance novel. And, I have always loved romance movies, romance novels. I'm somebody that, you know, loves wholeheartedly. I go over the top with, friendships and relationships. And I love people. I love the fact that, we can change people's lives by showing them compassion, love, empathy, all of those things. So, when I think about romance, I think about, again, that inner bliss, that feeling like, nothing could be better than this romance, that this story. So I might have parts of my own character in my romance book. I'm not sure exactly how that will play out, but again, it'll be talking about the inner struggles that we have, and really that connection with another human being or human beings. I mean, that there's a lot of people that we interact with during our life, and really just being able to show somebody that undevoted love that we all want to feel and we all want to share with somebody else, whether it's man, woman, whatever. It doesn't matter. We all deserve love. And growing up, I didn't feel that. And I just, again, I want this opportunity to write this love novel so that anybody that reads this romance novel can just escape the everyday mundane life and just experience that inner peace, that inner bliss, that love that is just that perfect love that we all hope and deserve for.
I do. I love that so much, and I'm really excited about that. And so going back to the first book that you wrote, we talked a little bit about things that I think, or that you think would be super beneficial for your growth and for your business and everything else that you're doing. And I think telling a little bit more of your story, right? So not just the book wise, but things that you're starting to get a little bit more into. We talked about speaking engagements and being able to tell a little bit of your story and why it's so important, right? You mentioned that if you could change one person's life, well, that one person could turn around and change 5 people, and those 5 people could turn around and change 100 people. And so that one difference that you make could be the ripple effect of hundreds of thousands of people. And I know that that's your purpose. And when we started talking about that a little bit more, are there things that that you're doing to get yourself out there? What does that look like when it comes to networking and being in front of other groups? So I'd love to hear a little bit more about that.
Sure. So I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram. I can't say that I'm proficient at any one of them, but I'm trying to get my message out there, and I try to inspire, at least put a post up every day on Facebook or Instagram, just to get people thinking about, trying to focus on the positive as opposed to the negative, because it's so easy to get caught up in the negative, right? There's, the news every day is, death and destruction and all these things. And like, we need to focus on the positives, and life goes on, but we just need to understand that there's more to life than, and life is difficult, but we have to come to a point where we want to be able to help each other out, be friends, have relationships, and just make a difference in people's lives. The only thing that I ever wanted to do was make a difference in people's lives by being a nurse. And a nurse to me is somebody that cares for you, mind, body, and soul. It's not just in the hospital setting. It is, the people that you meet in the grocery store, on the side of the road, or somewhere that need help. It's showing them that compassion, that feeling that they belong, because that's really all that any one of us really want, is to feel like we belong. So it's spreading that message through social media, speaking engagements, podcasts, whatever comes along. And again, I have no idea what this is going to look like going forward, but if I can help one or two people feel like, they're worth it and not struggle through the things that I've felt growing up or even into my adult life, then that's worth it to me. And I've served my purpose in life.
I love that. And, by doing that and getting yourself out there, I think, like you said, you will fulfill that purpose. And I think that's so important. And you talked about being on like Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Is there, I like to always ask this question because every business is so different. Do you find that there is a platform that you prefer to use the best? Do you find, Facebook with groups or LinkedIn? What are, in your industry, what are some groups or pages or, Instagram, we'll say Instagram, Facebook, whatever that may be. What is the best platform that you like to use for your business?
Right now, I like Facebook. I think it's, probably the easiest that I can understand and use. I'm on LinkedIn as well, but that really serves more professional women. And that's really the kind of age group and the clientele that I want to reach, but I'm willing to work with anybody. Um, I'm not limited to whatever platform, whatever whatever I can figure out and whatever I can use to be to get the message out there. I find that no matter what I'm using, I am getting the message out there because strangers will send me a message and basically say, thank you for your post. That really means a lot. I can resonate with that. So whatever means to get the word out there is what I'm using. And I'm getting better each day, and I'm trying to understand all the, dynamics of all the different platforms. I was a nurse. Not somebody that was on Facebook. In fact, I went on Facebook, to see my children and things like that. But, now I'm learning to use it for my business and really outreach and trying to get the message out to different people in different groups. So I do join different groups.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm learning as I go. But anybody that has any interest in having me as a guest or speaking at an engagement, I'm happy to oblige.
I love that. And, when you talked about, Instagram, I mean, Facebook and Facebook groups, do you currently have a Facebook group that you may run or have on Facebook at the moment?
I do. I have healthy transitions for women, and again, it's really to keep that positive mindset, and it's just for women, so they can sign up and be a part of a community and a small group where they can feel like they are able to voice their opinions and concerns and not have the whole world, making comments or seeing their post. So it's more geared towards the people that want to join the group and are really looking for that tight knit community so that they can express how they feel and share their thoughts.
And I'm part of that group, and there's a decent number of people that you have in the group, which is really awesome. And just any type of group is really important, for whatever the purpose may be. But it's nice that it is your target demographic. They're women who all are, the same purpose driven. They want to be around other women who are doing the same thing. You have a lot of interaction on that group, which I think is really great. And if anybody, is there any criteria to get into the group? Is there, when they're looking for on Facebook, what does that look like?
It's just really anybody that wants to join the group is allowed to join the group. You just have to be a female, and have an interest. And you can go and you can just watch the post or you can interact. But I'm always trying to provide different points of view on various things and positive quotes and inspiration because I think we all need it.
Oh, I absolutely agree. And I feel like there can never be enough positivity. Some people will say, sometimes like that toxic positivity. And I just don't think that that exists.
No,
For
I
me
agree.
personally, I am happy all of the time. I will take every negative and turn it into a positive, even if it's for myself. And it's just the more it resonates, the more it's out there, the more people see it. You never know who you're going to touch. And something that you said could change somebody's life drastically.
Yes.
And so, if you're not part of that group, again, it's called Healthy Transitions for Women. You can find it right on Facebook. The logo, I think, is like black and pink, right?
Correct.
Or like the
Yes.
dark gray and pink. So, if they see it, I think that that's something that's really awesome. And, at the end, we'll also give out all your social media handles and stuff like that. So I think that that would be really great. And, so yeah, so joining the groups, doing things that are more purpose driven, I think is really important. I know we talked about you being getting out there a little bit more through Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn and the different platforms. And if there's anyone who's looking for someone to kind of speak, definitely reach out to you. We're going to take another break. We're going to wrap everything up and how everyone can get in touch with you at the end. And my name is Jen Potter. I am the host of Networking Now, and we are joined by Catherine Brown. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the rest of the things that she's working on and how you can get a hold of her.
Hi, my name is Michelle Merhar. You may remember me from the morning news. I'd like to tell you how getting data and documents into action fast gives you a competitive edge. Digital first thinking to manage document workflows efficiently are giving all organizations a competitive edge. In fact, digital document automation is an essential process, helping us to become more profitable and to compete. By making any process paperless with secure automation, decisions can be made efficiently, virtually from anywhere. You'll be able to find and share documents securely in seconds. Your staff will be empowered by making optimal use of every office hour. And by the way, the size of your organization doesn't matter. Precision Products has been helping organizations for more than 30 years with paper to digital processes, including scanning systems for any document to premises and cloud document management systems. We make it easy and scalable for your business process needs from the office or other locations, even mobile devices. Contact us to see how we can help your organization succeed. Contact Will Waterall direct at 713-446-5939 and visit us on the web at precisionproductsinc.com.
Are you ready to shake up the world of health with me? Welcome to Disruptive Health, where we are flipping the script on traditional wellness. I'm Dr. Denise Brown, and on this show, we are diving deep into the latest trends and breakthroughs in health and wellness. Whether you're curious about nutrition, exploring new therapies, or just want to live your best life, Disruptive Health is your guide. Don't miss Disruptive Health, coming soon to Now Media TV.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
Welcome back. I am Jen Potter. I am the host of Networking Now, and I am joined again with Catherine Brown. We have talked about so many things throughout this episode, talking about the different books, the book that she's written, the book that she is writing, talking about her experience as a nurse, as well as now a life and health and wellness coach, and all of the different things in between. So it's been really great to sit here and have a conversation and talk about all of those things. And it's amazing because we are relatively close and yet we didn't know each other. And so, social media brought us together through something I was doing. I always talk about how networking is so important for me and everything that we're doing. And It was through the power of Facebook that we got connected, and because of family, and then we got connected at an event. And I know you talked about before you have another event coming up. Now you do a lot of stuff on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Before the break, we talked about the group called Healthy Transitions for Women that you host, talking about all different types of things that are kind of going on. This group is specifically for women, so if you're out there and you're looking for this, I think it's a really great tool to be a part of. And it also, if you want to get a hold of Catherine, buy your book, you have instant access. So it makes perfect sense. And so, aside from the social media world and the in person events, are there any other networking types of groups that you're currently part of to get yourself out there a little bit more? Is it more just sticking towards, the familiarity of social media? What does that look like for you?
Yes, it's more the social media platforms. I have some ideas about, I'd like to host some health and wellness retreats in the future. I'm also thinking of potentially getting into a healthcare organization as a coach and maybe helping either human resources, employee assistance program, or the nursing department with coaching, employees that are struggling. We all know that there are employees that, have lots of things going on in their life and they bring a lot of their problems to work. And I feel like a coach in the corporate environment would definitely be beneficial to many of those employees that struggle, because if they are, again, sound in mind, body, spirit, they're going to be more productive at work. So I'm looking at a lot of different options right now, but I would say wellness retreats, where I can be the host and have different vendors come in and do like things like Reiki, massage therapy, visualization, all of those things. I have a lot of ideas. So it's kind of unfolding as we go. I won't say no to anything because you never know where it's going to lead. But I'm just excited for the future and helping people.
I think that that's really awesome. And, I think helping people continue to grow and learn is probably, for me, it's one of the most important things, right? And so I think that that's fantastic. And is there anything else that you want to add to that as far as with the different things that you're working on and ways that you're getting out there?
No, I would just say that my most important message to anybody is don't suffer alone. People are going through, people that look like they have it all together, they're struggling too. Everybody struggles, reach out. If not to me, then to somebody. A coach will really hold your hand and get you through those tough times. So it's really important to network with other people that have been where you are, and talk about your struggles and people will get you through.
That's definitely true. And it's funny because, being in the realm of coaching, I think sometimes people don't understand the importance of a coach. And, for me personally, something that I always find has been really interesting is for a long time, I did therapy. And then when I found my first life coach about 15 years ago, it changed my thought process so much. But then I started doing coaching. And so, not just coaching, I started doing coaching and therapy at the same time. And I noticed such a huge difference of how important the two of them were together, because therapy works on the past, right? Where coaching works on the future. And you said it before, and I thought it was really beautiful. I hold their hand as we move forward. And that was something that really resonated with me, because I think that's how I view a coach. Someone just like, playing sports or anything like that. It's someone who's going to help you learn and grow from this moment forward. And I think it's a beautiful thing when the coach themselves actually has already lived through that expectation. Anybody can be a coach, anybody can get a certification. I mean, anybody can be anything, but if you don't have the compassion and the drive behind it, it's really hard for you to convince your clients to do it. But then you said, by the second or third time, I noticed these huge differences in my clients. Why is it that you've noticed those huge differences with your clients? Because you believe the Kool-Aid that you're selling, right? You truly believe that what you're doing is working. And I am a firm believer in that. If you believe it, it exists, right?
Correct.
And your clients are your living testimony. 2 or 3 sessions in, they're already changing their lives. My clients changed my life. I always preached everything and I listened to all the things that I preach, but if it wasn't for my clients having such success, I don't think I'd push myself even further. And
I agree.
feel like it's helped us, right? It's accountability. And I say that to people all the
Mhm.
time. If you're not a coach, but you want to be a coach, or you want to be a mentor and you want to help somebody, sign up for these programs to just do it, to see what it feels like. Because for me, it's accountability. It makes me show up every day. I have to be present and I have to do it. And I think that that's so important when we're trying to be there and kind of show up for other people. And we're human, right? Like, we have our days sometimes too, but for the most part, we have less of those days. I think we have less of those days because we've learned so much from the stuff that we're selling. And I think that for me, that's truly important. And it kind of loops back into all of the different things that we talked about today about finding your bliss, finding that, like you said, that happiness, then finding the romance. I feel like, when we talk about it before and we talked about the story, the fairy tale, I think that's kind of what it is, right? When
Yeah.
you truly say it, of finding your bliss and your happiness and finding it within yourself helps you find that love and your passion and your purpose. And it's like, when you say it like that, you're like, oh, that actually does sound really nice, doesn't it? And I know
Yeah.
it sounds all warm and fuzzy for me, so I really
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
So I think that that's really important, so thank you for that. And we definitely still have a few more moments, but I would love for you to tell everybody, again, tell us about your Facebook group, tell us about how we can get a hold of you, tell us a little bit more about how people can get their book. I want you to tell me all the things.
All right. So if you're interested in finding out how you're happy right now, you can go to my website, www.catherinejbrown.com. There's a quiz you can actually take on there, and you can find out what your bliss level is. My email address is catherinejbrowncoaching.com. Again, I'm on Facebook under Catherine J. Brown, in parentheses Miller. You can also look for my Healthy Transition group on Facebook as well. And I am on Instagram. I do have a personal Instagram account, CJ Brown 1216, or I have Catherine J. Brown Coaching LLC as my business. And again, my business is Catherine J. Brown Coaching. I am local to Bridgewater, but I will do Zoom calls. I will do in person. I will do group coaching one-on-one. And again, I'm looking to do health and wellness retreats in the near future locally, and then we'll see where that brings us. So that's how you can find me.
I love that. And so those who don't know, Bridgewater is in Massachusetts. So, because I know people get to hear us all around the world. So we're in Massachusetts in the US. And, it's great that not only are you local, but you're also accessible online. And so no matter where you are in the country or the world, people can still get a hold of you. So you have all of your social media handles, all the different ways, Healthy Transitions for Women, both everything, Facebook, LinkedIn, all the things. And if you can't get a hold of her, you can get a hold of me. And maybe you said it and I lost it in translation when I was writing everything down. But how can I get your book? Well, I know how to get your book.
My book is on Amazon. If you go to my website, you can www.catherinejbrown.com. It'll take you right to the link to Amazon, or you can go on Amazon. And again, it's In Search of Bliss. It actually hit number 1 in 7 different categories, which I'm really proud of. So I know that it's resonating with people, and I've got some great reviews out there. So really looking forward to people using it as a tool to help them get past the things that are holding them back in life.
I love that. I really do. And I'm really happy that we had the opportunity to talk today, to just be able to learn a little bit more about you and all of the amazing things that you're doing here in this community. I'm so grateful that we had the opportunity to connect. And since we're super close and Restoration Coffee is probably nice and close to you, I will have to come and visit you and take you out for a cup of coffee soon, because I'm out there all the time. So I really appreciate it. I am Jen Potter. I am the host of Networking Now. Thank you so much to Catherine Brown of Catherine J. Brown Coaching. And if you, like I said, if you have any questions, want to reach out, you know how to get a hold of her. If not, you can reach out to me. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. Not only can a CGM immediately reduce pain, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare or private insurance, you can see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. We'll also provide free shipping of your new CGM, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline to see if you qualify for a CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction.